Great stuff. Okay, good.
So, welcome everybody. For those of you who seeing my face for the first time, some of you may have met me. I've been around for a while now. My name is Mike. I'm going to be leading the masterclass from here on out. So today our topic is documents. I think that's going to be a lot of people's favorite. So we're gonna basically focus into a lot of detail on this topic today, and hopefully get a lot of people involved. So here we go. We've got Julie online and we've got Sharon as well. So I'll hand over to Julie.
Hi, everybody. Once again, it must be every second Thursday. We are here again at Velocity Masterclass. We have an awesome, fantastic guest, Sharon Patton. And Sharon, I'll let you introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about where you work, a little bit about your business. And you and I are going to talk about everything relating to documents. You have some really cool tips, and we're going to share those. But just tell us a bit about yourself and your business.
Okay, I'm in Burlington, Ontario. And I've been in the broker business for 10 years. Previously, I was 17 years with Scotiabank. And I came over to Mortgage Architects 3 years ago, and I've been on Velocity almost 2 years.
Fantastic. Right. And yeah, I think you mentioned on a call to me, talk about the breakdown of the kind of business you do. If you look at purchases, refis, transfers, where's the bulk of your business fitting into those categories?
Right. So I do very, very little insured business. Majority of my business is conventional uninsured. And it's split probably like maybe 60% refis, 40% purchases. And then honestly, 2 or 3 insured deals a year.
Wow. Okay. So it was interesting when we had a chat, a pre-call. My business is really the opposite. I do almost no refinances because I'm in Calgary, Alberta. We've had a really flat market with very little property value growth. And I work with lots of realtors who are younger realtors with lots of first-time home buyers that have insured business here. So that's a great starting point as to how you and I are using Velocity in a lot of the same ways, but sometimes on very different kinds of deals, right? So let's dig into our first section that we sort of went into. I really want to talk to everyone about why do you think, and what do I think, why should we focus on the exclusive collection of all documents via Velocity? I'm a bit obsessed with this. I feel like you are too. What are your just general thoughts on why? Why do you think that should be a focus?
So number one, security. So we just got the security stuff from Velocity, the breakdown of it, and it's like the same or better than the chartered bank. So the security is a huge one. The ease, I have not had a client complain about how to upload into Velocity. Whereas people are like, I'm going to send you a text with this JPEG, I'm going to send you an email with this. And so if you just make it all go to Velocity, then it's in one place. And if you have support staff, they can access it. They're not like, oh, can you send me, your client send you this? Like, it's all in one place for everybody who needs access to it to have it. So they're my top ones would be, the security and the ease of use. And then it's all in one place.
Yeah.
And then we can get into like converting stuff and all that later, but
yeah. Sometimes I think that the pandemic has actually, it's pushed us so far into the future. We might not have been ready. I don't think I was ready for the fact that we're now doing all of our meetings by phone or Zoom. We went from, in one day's notice, we went from meeting every client. So before COVID arrived, we would meet every client at our office at least one point in the process. We went from that to not meeting anyone. And what I really think is interesting, and we're so lucky that we have Velocity available to us in our industry, because we were forced to really all of a sudden go to the digital collection of documents and have a system as robust and sound, encrypted and safe for the collection of things like documents. So for me, I feel like COVID kind of really pushed me into the future. And then once I got into Velocity, I kind of just am keeping going. I think what you're saying is right. When we think about the big banks, let's think about an RBC or CBC, a bank not in our channel. I actually know when my clients will say to me, they'll say, well, last time I dealt with RBC or I talked to RBC or we had this conversation, I emailed everything. I emailed my T1 gens and my T4s, and I can't believe that a big bank is having me email. So I feel like our clients are also really pushing us into the future. And for any agent who hasn't accepted this, I'm going to say the future is here. It is now. We have to accept the change that's happened. And so it's time to really, as we call in this class, really master our ability to use Velocity for document collection. I love the organization. Now, what do you think about in terms of like storing documents long-term? Do you use Velocity to do like long-term storage? Do you do a lot of renaming? Like, how do you actually nitty-gritty organize documents in Velocity?
So, well, we use the sections that come out in the Velocity. So, like when you're in document collection, we use those like income, property, and signed documents, whatnot. So we just keep everything like right in there, and you're able to change your JPEGs to PDFs. You're able to split documents. You're able to move documents if your client. So, I mean, we all get the client who uploads everything to the T4 folder, right? You've got everything in there. So you literally just open it up and you drag them to where they should be, right? It's a 30-second job. So I really like that. The ease of moving stuff around. Yeah, definitely the JPEG to PDF, because that can take you a while to do that. Just not a while, a couple of minutes. But if you add all those things up, you're saving yourself so much time, right?
You are.
So, and then I think, so definitely we use those sections. And I don't know if you want to get into like how we ask for the documents.
Yeah, let's talk about, so I know that you and I are both very much committed to using Velocity to collect all of our documents. I get asked this all the time. How do you convince your clients? How do you explain to your clients? How do you build a comfort level with your clients that this is the path, this is the strategy? And a lot of people will say, I try, and then all of a sudden I'm getting all these documents into my inbox via email. So what are some of the things you would actually say, or what do you set up expectations with your clients so you actually receive documents in Velocity?
Yeah, so like my client base can be majority like 30 to 65. And I honestly don't even get pushback from my seniors. Like they do it as well. So I don't actually give an option. So before COVID, I gave the option of, I can meet you in person or we can do this all online, and to my clients. And then I was already doing electronic signing and all of that before COVID hit, because I would give my clients the option. So because I work from home, if I want to sign in person, I have to go to my client's house. So I was getting to the point in my business where I was like, I don't actually have time to meet all these people in person. So I need to, like, how do I do this? So it went to electronic signing. So as soon as I gave the option, you'd be amazed how many people, they actually don't want to meet you. They have very busy lives. And like, if I can just email you this, then it's fine. So I think I don't actually give the option up front. I have like an intro call where I figure out, what is it you want to do? How do we do that? What's your income structure like? And then I say, I just say, you're going to be receiving 2 emails from me. One is going to be the application with the list of documents you need to upload to our secure portal. The other one is your consent form. So, which I send out in Adobe. But I don't give them the option. I just say, this is how it is. Now, I still get the odd email, like, I'll email them saying you didn't upload this document, and they'll email me the document. But for the majority, like, they just do it.
I love
Some of them still email it in, but yeah, the majority just do it through the portal.
I love that. I think that sometimes, because we're salespeople, I think that salespeople worry about being really firm and setting expectations, because somewhere in our heads, we're always thinking about winning the deal, winning the client. And a couple of years back, it's been a few years now, I really did a lot of sort of work on my thought patterns around, I have to let that go. Because every time I'm thinking of winning the deal or winning the client over, and I'm not following the process that I know works best, then things go awry. Right. So I'm the same as you. I insist on it, and I start early and I say it often. I like that idea of sort of start as you want to finish. So if you start early and you say it often and you give them an explainer, and I love the wording you said, which is safe, secure, and encrypted. I feel like I lead with those now. The reason that I have this portal is so that your documents are safe, secure, and encrypted. It's also the ease of use for you as my client to see this really lovely, concise document list at all times in the process. I'm trying to reduce any stress, on you around providing documents. And it helps my staff and I stay really organized. So any one of us at any given time is here to support you in anything you need relating to document questions. So I think you're right. I think there's a lot of people who are saying right now to their new clients, maybe they're not saying it in the warm call. Like I heard you say, you do this warm call, you get to know people a little bit, you ask your questions. Start in your first call. Tell your referral partners. This is one of the greatest things we've done recently is we have told and explained to our referral partners what Velocity is and how we use it. And we have this basically online digital system to collect documents and all details and communicate with our clients. And they are now using that in a sales pitch to their clients to say, hey, you should call Julie over walking into BMO because she has this really cool process that works with COVID, in COVID. Yeah. So I think we start early, we say it often, right?
And I think that one other thing I would add is take away any barriers. So I was telling you this too, like in my client experience email, I have a little blurb at the bottom that tells you how to scan with your phone. If you have an iPhone, this is how you scan. If you have an Android, this is how you scan. Because a ton of our clients do not have scanners at their disposal, right? So I think as you use it more, you figure out what your client's barriers are and you mitigate against it. So right up front, this was before Velocity. I sent that out in my emails because people would be like sending me pictures that their pay stub's blurry, right? No, if you can scan it with your phone, I'm going to get a good pay stub that I'm not going to ask you 3 times for. So I think a big part of it is like taking away any barriers that they're going to say, I can't do it. You can. Yeah. You have a smartphone, you can do this, right? You don't even need an app to do it. You can actually it's in your phone's ability.
Yeah. So Michael's going to show us, I love what you just said there. So reducing barriers by explaining the how. So Michael, can we jump into, I think you have a screenshot or a little demo of client experience and how, can we look at that? And can we just look at how we edit the body of the email and client experience? And we'll let you pull that up. And so Sharon, you said a couple of things there. You actually literally put in your email, and is this underneath your signature? Is that where you put this little line about how to scan or in client
before my signature? So it just says so if you pull it up, like once the screen, it says like, hi, so-and-so, we're ready to start your application. You'll be given the link to a secure portal and a list below. And then after that whole blurb, I just put how to scan and I just put those instructions. And then underneath that, I say, if you have any questions, let me know, because I don't want that to be before. So I actually put that right in the body.
Nice. So you really have let's remember everyone, we are all able to very much customize the client experience email, the body, the template, the body of the email that goes out. You can do any customization you want. And so I love that Sharon's actually saying, this is how you use this, you use your iPhone. This is how you use it to scan. Mine is similar. I love this. Thank you, Michael. So here's the kind of stock content, right, Michael, that comes with Velocity. But all you have to do is when you go to settings and you go to client experience defaults, all you do is pop in, and this wording can be edited, changed. You can add hyperlinks. So you can add a link to your website. We have a link to a blog that's all about applying for a mortgage. Right? Mm-hmm. If you have other questions about what it is to apply for a mortgage, here's a link to our blog. I also have my Calendly link right in my client experience. And like Sharon, I have a little bit of detail around, it's really important to provide the income documents that I've asked for below. And it's really important that you complete the app. Okay, so everyone, this is like not on a document topic, but this is so important. Please edit client experience, this section to say, please start and complete the application and click the submit button, because your data is not saved unless you do. Do you know when you get a partial app that's not complete, it's because someone started an app and then jumped out of it and they haven't gotten to the end and hit submit. So I even have that detail as an explainer in the body of my client experience. And I have it bolded and underlined, and it says, this will not take you more than 10 minutes. Please set aside 10 minutes, make sure you have the time, start the application, work all the way through, hit the submit button. When you do, I'll receive an email instantly that you are ready for me to review your pre-approval details. The next step is we'll book a phone or Zoom meeting. So Sharon said that the exact thing is customize and reduce barriers. So when you're not getting applications back in the way you want, use the customizations here to make the changes. Now, Michael, can we show off where we set up the default documents that we want to ask for when client experience appears? Can we have a look at that for the defaults? So when your individual client experience appears, now Sharon, you have a method for this. I believe we have a similar method. What's your method for what default documents have you set up for client experience?
Okay, so I set up all documents for default. And so I set up whether you're salaried, part-time, self-employed, commission sales, refinancing, purchasing, I set up everything in my default. And the reason for that is, sorry, Michael, if you go to profile.
Yeah, profile, yeah, and then profile. There we go.
The reason for that is, and I was saying this to you, like, I have a terrible memory. Right, I'm not going to sit there every time and remember, like, okay, so if they're employed, then we need these documents. And then later on, you're like, oh, I forgot to ask for this document, or they're refinancing, I forgot to ask for their home insurance. So I set everything up. And that way, when I'm sending out the client experience, I'm deleting the ones I don't need. So they're not self-employed, so I take out the T1 general, right?
Yeah, I want to make sure everyone understands this, because you are doing something really cool here. This is really unique, everyone. Sharon is saying, she's using the word all. You guys, I'm not kidding. She means all. So Michael, could you just click on, is this live? Could you click to add an item? So what documents do you want to request? And can you just click on, just click right there, click to add an item. So let's just add a pay stub. Let's click that. Let's go back up and click to add. Yeah, and we'll just add a letter. So sure. And so just keep going, Michael, just keep adding. And what Sharon's saying, everyone, is she is literally adding every single darn thing she can think of, right, Sharon? Everything you can think of for the kind of income,
right,
because you've already had the warm call, you're right, making, and then she's making her little descriptor. So Michael, beside NOA, can you just type in 2020 NOA, right? Beside the NOA that you already added, if you just go down.
What I have on there is most recent 2 years, because if they're commission or BFS, we need most recent 2 years.
Right.
Then if I'm doing it for, we won't need the NOAs for anybody who's not self-employed, right? For T4, I also default T4 to most recent 2 years. And then if I have a client who's employed and I'm going to send that to the lender who only wants a pay stub in T4, in the client experience, I just delete that and put 2020. I don't need 2 years for this client. I just need, but in my default here, I put, and what I was telling you before too, like letter of employment, my blurb in there says, the letter of employment is to include your start date, status, i.e. full-time, part-time, permanent, your job title, your position, your salary or hourly rate, plus your guaranteed hours. It's in the blurb. So then I don't get that email saying, what do I need in my job letter?
Right.
Right. Or you get a job letter that's missing information,
Okay, I think your comment on reducing barriers is my new favorite catchphrase, because you're also in this example reducing barriers.
Right.
You're increasing the likelihood that you're going to receive the item you want by explaining it really well. So you can create all of these things for income, anything you want for down payment. You can have mortgage statement. You can add anything you want to. I'm a big believer, and you said this best, Sharon. You said, like any of us, you're so busy. You're a busy working mom. You're a very successful mortgage agent. It is so easy to forget to ask for the darn mortgage statement, even though 2,000 times in the past you've needed it, but you're just busy and you're rushing and you're racing. So I also do this. We have a laundry list of items. And we then, when you go to add client experience, your edited body on the left-hand side here, hello, first name, under here is all edited. You can also attach a document. I have a home buyer's guide that I have attached here. So you can have a home buyer's 101, because I do a lot of purchases. You can have a mortgage 101. You could have a little PDF handout all about you and your team. You can have anything attached here. We had a good question, Michael. We had a question that said, can I insert a Loom video in the client experience? Lee, 100%. And please do, because you can insert a hyperlink in the client body of the client experience. So Michael, can you just hover your cursor over the email body content, and the little hyperlink icon is the second one from the very end. So if you just go to the very end of all those, that's the little hyperlink. So you see that, you just click it, and mine is hyperlinked to my mortgage blog. So I have a page that says, for more mortgage information, please read my mortgage blogs, right? So if you have something cool on your website, hyperlink. If you want to do a Loom video or any other video content that's hosted somewhere, yes, absolutely, please add that in. I think that's a really cool idea. Ravish Verma, hi Ravish, says, can we save the description of the docs? You sure can, sir. That's what we're doing. That's what Michael's showing us. When you type in those cute little document descriptors, they stay there, they exist, and you can come back and edit them. You can change them, delete, add, whatever you need. And when you go to add a client experience, those fantastic little descriptors will appear in your document list in client experience. I have a really cool little idea for this section. And Sharon, tell me what you think about this. You do the warm call. You get quite a few details. You spend, let's say, 20 minutes. You kind of know this type of income, etc. I sometimes do the same, but sometimes I get a web lead, or sometimes a client will email me saying, I just want to get going. I don't have time for a call. Like, it's like I have a live offer and my realtor says, you're the person to talk to. What's next? And they're literally like, boom, they want to do a mortgage application. So I added in income, I added a condition that just says income. Just the word income. And then in the little descriptor, I put, if you are hourly or salary, please upload a pay stub. If you are self-employed, please upload the last 2 years of T1 Gen. So it's a bit more of a generic, I guess, income request for those people that maybe I haven't done the warm call with yet. So get super creative in here. This is your opportunity to control velocity and manage velocity in the way that you want it to be managed. So I love this section. I think this is really great.
And I think if you take the time to set this section up properly, you will save yourself so much time in the end.
Michael, we just got a woohoo. This is amazing news. I love the woohoos. Thank you, Lee. That is so kind of you. I love that Christian's asking can the client open this with their phone or laptop or their PC? They sure can. They don't just need to upload just one document. You could just upload one document, right? They don't need to, it's not like it stops them from just providing one thing. They can upload one thing if you asked for 10, right. And then they can go back to the upload button again. That upload button appears as a rectangle in the bottom of the email. They can go back to that upload button again, and they can upload more items later, right? So
yeah, I just want to come in there, Julie, and say with the cell phone as well, they can take a photo of the document and will auto convert into PDF as well. So they don't have to just use the computer. They can use the phone as well.
You guys, Michael, are so fancy at Velocity. It's just like, you have no idea the joy we feel when you give us these little zingers, my friend. This is so cool. Thank you for that. I love what Michael's saying there. And there's also a question on, can we send the client a request through their mobile devices? Lindsay Lebrecq, hi, Lindsay. Yes, you can. So when you send the email, you guys, when you send client experience, remember, some people are opening it on this little gadget, and some people are opening it on a Mac or whatever, a laptop. Some people are using an iPad. Right? So it doesn't matter where you open it. Right. You can certainly do that. Now, I'm going to throw everyone off, Michael, and I'm going to mention SMS texting. Are you ready? You know, this is my favorite topic lately. SMS texting is the best thing in the universe. When you send client experience, it is sent as an email. So the origin of client experience is, yes, you enter first name, last name, email. So the document request is certainly going to be sent by email. But when the client opens their email on their phone, they can literally take a photo of their pay stub or their T4 from their phone, like Michael said, and just do upload and upload a photo. But I want to mention the SMS texting, because later, and we're moving into our next section here, Sharon and I, we're talking about the beginnings. This is, how do you get an app? How do you get the documents you want? Start as you want to finish, be really concise, remove barriers. The next section is going to be, well, you have an app and you have some of the documents, then what? So Michael, let's move into the then what. The then what is, okay, so Sharon, your client sent you back an app. You have some, maybe all, maybe some of the documents. Then what? What's your next step? And how do you then go after all the other documents you want?
Okay, so this I need to get a little bit better at. So sometimes I just default to an email to the client saying, okay, thank you. We're missing the following. And that's where then I end up getting them back as emails. So I need to get better at following up in here, because if you follow up in Velocity, then you can just attach the links again for those sections, the things they haven't done. So you forgot to send me your home insurance. So you just click on the link for home insurance, like you click on in the condition.
So Michael, could you go to a deal and just get into conditions and docs, and let's just do a run through. Now, I have a theory on it.
Sorry, I just want to come in there and mention the fact that it works really well when you send a text message, though. Statistically speaking, they're going to read it within 3 minutes. Julie, you said you're getting 1 minute.
1 minute replies.
We're
going to show off how we're going to do that. Yeah, let's show that off, Michael. So we're in conditions and docs. This is a test app, so Michael doesn't have any documents. But I think you guys, a lot of you guys were on another call with Matt Key. Matt Key is a broker in Calgary, Alberta. That's a good friend of mine. Matt said something to me that kind of just blew my mind. Here's Matt's advice on how he runs his entire business. When he starts his warm lead call, his next step, he builds a document list in Velocity, and his staff do this as well. He literally builds the exact document list that he knows a lender will want for that deal. He thinks about the end result, which is the documents, as the starting point. So that way he builds this document list, and it is everything in a purchase that a lender will ever want. And he starts that from minute one. And in his head, he's building that in the call. Then his staff are building that in Velocity. So I just think I loved his theory on that. Like he's like already underwriting and already thinking about document review in his lead call.
Yeah,
that just blew my mind. I'm like, whoa, he is like light years ahead of me, where I'm sometimes just thinking about the lead and the referral partner and the this is and that. So I think you start as you go again. So when you get into the document section, and what I would say,
so sorry, Julie, I'll add on that. We asked for everything, including void check, in our initial email.
Oh my God. Okay. This is okay. Let's go back to this. This is really cool then. So that's so interesting, Sharon, because you're like, well, maybe later I'm not asking for as much. You are actually creating this list in client experience the second you send client experience, including a void check. Like you're getting that
void check, and void check ID, all of it. We want to have nothing left outstanding when we submit that application to the lender except signed commitment.
Okay. That's really cool. Now I have a question. Do you get pushback from clients going like, I don't know if I want to upload all that? Or do you ever feel like I get the anxiety about, should I be a pain and ask them for the void check? Or I don't know. Should I just worry about that?
Like pre-approvals, people are like, really? Void checks? Like, so in pre-approvals, it's like a 50-50 whether we get the void check. If we don't get the void check, it's no problem. We'll get it when they're ready to buy. But anybody who's like actually calling me to do a deal, like I've got an offer or I want to do a refi, zero pushback on the void check. Like we don't even have an approval yet, but we're going to need that, and might as well get it while you're getting everything else. Okay. The same reason I ask for a T4, a pay stub, and a letter of employment, because I don't know what lenders that this is going to.
What about proof of down payment? That's a question. Do you really get right into that if it's a purchase, proof of down payment?
Yeah, like I asked for the 90 days statement up front.
Okay.
Because I want to know, is there going to be that weird and random deposit that's going to throw this all off?
Okay.
right up front.
Yeah. Michael, you had a comment?
Yeah, we had a hand raised in the audience, so I just wanted to address a question that was directed at Shannon, and they're asking, do you ask for the proof of down payment up front on pre-approvals?
Yes.
Yeah. That's
Because again, for that anti-money laundering, I want to make sure there's nothing weird in there, or lots of people don't understand proof of down payment. They just don't. They're like, I don't know why. There's just this massive disconnect. Like, I don't know. That's the one thing you're going to have a problem with in an app. It's going to be proof of down payment.
Right. Okay.
Right.
So I do that a little bit differently, but I like what you're saying. Again, isn't this the power of Velocity, that you and I can we do the same job. And we have a lot of the same style, but we can choose within Velocity how we want to manage these pieces of our business. So for me, I ask for anything related to income, and depending on the warmth level of the call, like if they're really close to making an offer, or maybe they already have a live offer, then I get into down payment and client experience. We definitely, when we issue the pre-approval, if they're not ready to buy, when we issue the pre-approval, at that stage, we use smart conditions, and we start to build out every single thing we know we will need for that purchase. And we have started to send the client a list, and we will say, this is your prep list. If you don't make an offer on a home in 6 months, this is not relevant. You need, once you make an offer on a home, this is your list. We will send it. You will call us and let us know, or send us an email and let us know you've made an offer. But this is going to be your list. So it's also a way to pre-plan and to warn people if they've said that they have gifted funds. We will actually attach the gift letter as one of the conditions. We will ask for the gifted deposit as another condition. So every document we ask for has its own condition, and it's a really nice way, I think, for working with first-time home buyers. For me, they have a really good sense of what's coming, because they have that really nice little list. They might not buy a house for 6 or 8 months, but at least they've seen that original list, and they know when they do buy a house, there's going to be some things they have to collect for us.
So Joe, I just want to stop you there before we go to a new topic. Yeah, Adam did raise his hand, so I'm going to take him off of. I'm going to allow him.
Great, thank you.
Hi, Adam.
Hi, everyone. I just have a quick question regarding this topic. So one issue I'm running into is I was asking for all docs up front, but with the state of the market, clients are getting into bidding wars, and they're taking months to actually have, to get a house. And then, so I'm having to ask them for their income docs again, because they're past 30s and 60 days. And the clients are getting frustrated, because they're like, we provide you with those docs already, and you're asking them for again. And like, I've had one client, I've had to ask them 3 times.
Agreed. And you heard Sharon say, though, she does lots of refis. So that's a bit different, because she's not asking for down payment. Things that stale date, like, I'm with you, Adam. If it's salary and it's easy salary, like it's a full-time teacher, I'm not asking for an LOE. That's just 15 years in the business. I'm not doing that at pre-approval, because they stale date and then they only last 30 days. So I think that part's super much like what works for you or me or Sharon is all very different, right?
I'm gonna add to that, though. In my smart condition, it says pay stub must be within the last 30 days. So then I tell them, we've done your pre-approval. These documents are going to be stale dated after 30 days. So just so you know, when you put an offer in, we're going to need these ones again. So yes, if they're with the school board, I don't necessarily ask for the letter. But the reason I ask for all of this up front is, again, if there's something wrong with their income, you're going to know it up front. So if they tell you, I make $80,000 a year, no, actually I'm 60 salary, I made 20 bonus, you're going to find that out from these documents. So that's the way I explain it to my clients. I go, look, I can't give you any kind of pre-approval without having these documents to know exactly what numbers I'm working with. If you don't buy in the next 30 days, I will need new employment documents, and I will need your most recent bank statement to top up what we have. But I haven't been getting pushback, because I think it's because I just explained, I need this to give you an accurate approval, right? Nice. Yeah, I don't want they get an offer. I don't want to be that broker where they put an offer in on a house. I used 80 grand. Then I get the income docs and realize, oh my gosh, they make 60, they've been with this company 1 year, I can't use their bonus. Right?
That's a good point. That's a good point. And the longer, I think these things depend on your the kind of deals you do, your client base, the age of your clients, the income level of your clients. I have a lot of upwardly mobile young couples who are just like salary, salary, salary. I have very, very few self-employed clients. For those brokers on the call who do lots of B deals or private, this is a whole other can of worms, you guys. You have to customize this to work for you. And speaking of customization, just a reminder that on all these documents, you can put your little note and you can keep customizing. One thing that we do, for example, on the bank statement, do you see where it says the 3 months full bank statement? We actually open that and edit it, and we put total down payment $75,000, right? To remind the client what they agreed to, because you guys, people don't remember what they agreed to. They don't even, was it 25, that was it $30,000? Was it 5%? Was it 7%? So we actually get really finite on defining, total down payment 75. And at submission, we're saying to people, or on our pre-call and getting our live app ready to submit, we're saying, what are the sources? And we actually will put, CIBC, RSP, 25,000 plus TD, TFSA, 10,000 plus to equal the 75,000. So that when they get their document list, they're actually seeing, we're reminding them of the total amount, we're reminding them of the places they said they were taking their down payment from. And that's been working really, really well. Shahid asks, if a condition's been added, can it be deleted? Absolutely. Michael, could you just open any one of those and just show us how you would just get rid of it? So that little archive button, you just click archive, and it's kind of, would you say it's kind of like a delete button? I know it says archive, but
it will get rid of the document that's in there. And then
be careful, right, Michael? Because if you hit archive, it also doesn't just get rid of the condition, it gets rid of the document that's in there. One of the things you can do, and this is a really cool, let's get into smart conditions. One of the really cool things we've done in smart conditions is we have something called not in use. And that's a smart condition. And every deal, the not in use condition pops up. And the not in use condition is the place that we shove documents that we don't want to delete, but we are not submitting to the lender, that we are not using. Okay.
We have the same.
Yeah.
We have the same. We take, those statements that came in that were redacted or whatever, we just don't want to get rid of them, but we have an other folder and we just move them to this other folder so that they're all there together. But we're not going to be, because once you, we'll get into how you send documents from Velocity and stuff. You don't want those miscellaneous documents to be in there. So I love that not in use, though. I'm going to change ours. Ours just says other. I'm going to change it to not in use.
Yeah, it means do not send to a lender. Like you guys all know, when you have that deal killer document, it's not terrible, but it's not great. So we use that. You can also, this is a place, Michael, let's show off the SMS texting. So let's just pretend we're going to send one. Let's just pick the first few income docs. Let's do the checkbox on the left-hand side. Okay, so Michael wants to ask his client for the NOA and the pay stub.
NOA.
Yeah, cool. Okay, those are, let's just say and then Michael.
As well.
Yeah, sure. Now, how on earth, how do we send? We have to set up SMS in settings. It's $95 for the whole year. Velocity provides you with a text-only number. It's not a phone number. It's not your phone number. It is a new number that is text-only. I cannot believe how cheap this is. There's like 50, something insane, Michael, 50,000 text messages for $95 a year. It's quite extraordinary. So Michael's going to ask his client, Albus and Sally, through SMS. So here we go. He's going to just literally, can you click on that, or you maybe don't have SMS set up?
I've got SMS set up.
Oh man, look at this. This is great. So who do we want? So which borrowers would you like to send a request to? Albus and Sally, great. And then do you see this little bit of text here? Michael, that's stock text. Is that right? That's stock. You can also add a little personal text, right? You can go in there and keep typing. Right? So if Michael wants to add a little note after hello, Albus, he could add a little great to chat with you yesterday and blah, blah, blah. And when you guys, this is so cool. When he hits send, they are going to receive a text message on their phone, and the text message from you, right, is actually going to have the upload button, and it's going to have the document list Michael's wants. So it's going to have the document list and the upload button as a text message. So Lindsay Lebrec, this is where you said, you know, how can this be more mobile? It's like, well, if you're using the SMS texting, this is a great way. Michael, if
So I have a question.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
if you send, so I don't do SMS texting at all. I use that other button, the email one, and send it through email. So if you send a text and then the client has like their letter of employment is on their computer, how do they get the link for document upload?
Yeah, so if it's on their, like you're saying, it's like sort of on their desktop,
right,
or something. It's not like a photo.
It's not on. So they need to download it from the employer, but they can only log in through their desktop or whatever.
Yeah. So for those people, what I find for when I'm sending the text message, I've usually sent the email first.
Okay.
So I'm not exclusively using the SMS for doc collection. I've usually sent the email, and I've sent them my laundry list of things I want. And then I often use the SMS to follow up. So I would edit that little message, and I would always say, hi, this is Julie at Elevation Mortgage, DLC Elevation Mortgage. So they know who it's coming from, right? Because it's not your phone number. It's a text only number. I would always say who I am. And I would say, please check your inbox. There's a request for some documents. You can go to your inbox and upload from your inbox on your desktop. If you would like to take photos of the items I've asked for, you can absolutely use your phone.
Okay.
So I think it's just it's kind of like used for me as a reminder, and it's also client dependent. My really young clients, who I have a lot of lately, like mid 20s buying condos, like a lot of them are living their lives on their phones and just an iPad. I have many clients who don't even have a laptop if they don't use one for work. So I'm also using it as a reminder. So that someone says, so the text message will have the link to upload. That's right. If they want to upload from the text message, they sure can. What are your thoughts on that though, Michael? That's a great question that Sharon's presenting is, you kind of want to have sent the email, don't you think, too? So they have the email link.
Well, yeah, definitely. With regard to documents, especially, you're going to send the email first, and if they don't upload it, you follow up with a text message. It's kind of better to follow up with a text message rather than go straight out with a text message first.
I think so too. And you can also just choose to not even add the documents again, or even not even add the upload button. You could just straight up send an SMS text like, hi, Sharon, checking in. There's an email in your inbox, and it's in regards to your mortgage documents. Can you have a peek at your inbox? There's a few items that are fairly urgent. You know,
this is good for me because I signed up for SMS months ago and I've not used it once.
So we're kind of talking about documents, but the other absolutely unbelievably great place to use it is for your leads. You can burn through a leads list in minutes by just popping into your lead, clicking on SMS, send your lead. Again, hi, it's Julie from DLC Elevation Mortgage. This is a text only number. This number is available from 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. I have that saved as a little stock. Okay, I have that saved. And then I just drop it in each time. And then, we've sent you a link for your mortgage application. Let us know if you have any challenges, if you've tried the link, if you want to book a phone call. And I'm using the texting to touch base with leads, and I am getting instant replies. Some cases I've sent 5 or 6 emails, no reply at all. And I send a text message and I get replies that say, oh, hey, Julie, I'm on vacation. Or, oh, hey, Julie, I had a sick parent, or something, something was wrong with the dog. It's like the reason why they haven't done the mortgage app, and they're really quick to quickly text. When they reply to text you send, that text message it pops into your email as an alert. So it doesn't go to your phone. You didn't send it from your phone. It pops into your email as an alert, and Velocity says, Julie, you have a new message, and the message is in the email. And then you can go into the lead or the application, and you can actually see the trail of the text messages you send and the ones you receive as well.
Yeah, okay. I like that for follow-up. It's amazing.
It's pretty cool. I was like not sure about it. I was going old school, going, I don't want to be texting. And then, you know, Michael was like, it's the thing. And your stat, Michael, I'm like, the kids know it all these days, Sharon. I think your stat, Michael, was like how fast people read it and how much more they pay attention to text messaging just really blew my mind. And it was like, yeah, I'm not a big texter, but generations of my clients are. So I kind of need to move through what my clients are experiencing, right?
Yeah. I love it.
You guys want to follow up on the text as well. If you're texting somebody directly via the client, via their contact page as well, the responses are in there too. Maybe I should, want me to show that? Let me show that.
Yeah, I think it's worth showing it off while we're on the topic. And then I think we should move on to just a little bit about smart conditions. I feel like people are struggling with smart conditions and we can give them some support on that.
Sure. So you also, if you go into the SMS inside the client contact sheet over here, you have SMS under activity on the right. And when you send a text message, it'll be in blue. And when they respond on their phone, you'll see it in white, and you'll be able to follow up exactly.
I like that.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
And you guys, and Michael, how cool. For the first time in our industry, and this is where Velocity just wows me every day. For the first time in our industry, we have a piece of technology that is allowing us to send and receive text messages, and it is compliant because you are saving the message stream. If you are using your phone and you are not somehow saving that message stream and you're audited later, or you get into a very serious disagreement with a client and there's a complaint, if you're using your phone, and unless you're saving all those messages, you don't have the storage of the text message stream.
Right.
Now you have storage, right? Christian Bozerup, hi Christian, says, what was the comment about it being 9 to 5? Christian, that's just me setting expectations. So I want to set the expectation when I don't want the client to think that the text message is from my phone and then I'm going to respond at 10 o'clock on a Friday. So like Sharon said, she loves this thing about, she sets these really firm expectations. This is how things roll at her office. For me, I say, it's Julie from DLC Elevation Mortgage. This is a text only number. This is my work texting line.
Yeah.
I am available from 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. If you send a message, we will respond, because I'm setting that expectation so that they don't think they can text me Saturday morning. And because if I'm not in Velocity or I'm not looking at my email Saturday morning, I don't want them to think it's like a 24/7 thing. That's all I meant by that.
Mark's hand is raised again, so I'm just going to unmute him.
Sure, great.
I don't want to go off topic too much here.
Hey guys, sorry, me again. Regarding this texting, I mean, the issue that I have with it, the 9 to 5 is kind of interesting regarding my point, is I send a message to a client and it kind of straps me to my desk, because the client with text message, or at least I do, if someone texts me, I expect to have a real-time communication with them. So the client asks a question. If I've left the desk, I've now left the client hanging, and which to me is bad customer service. So I really wish Velocity would have a mobile app for this texting application they have built into Velocity, so that, if a client texts me back when I'm away from my desk, I can instantly respond to them.
I think that you and I probably just have completely opposite visions for this, because what I'm doing, and I think that's cool, and I hear exactly what you're saying and why it would work better for you in that way. The thing I don't want ever, Adam, is people randomly texting me. So I would never ask a client a question, or I'm not starting conversation. Do you know when you go to the dentist? My daughter's going to the dentist today at 5 o'clock to get her very first filling. So that'll be fun, you guys. The dentist sends you that little text message that says, hi, Julie, this is Dr. So-and-so's office. Audrey has an appointment at 5 o'clock. And if for some reason she needs to cancel, let us know. The dentist isn't starting a conversation. The dentist is giving me a really static piece of information. So when I'm working with the lead stuff, I will definitely say, I definitely pop in that 9 to 5, because you're right. I don't want the lead to decide at 8 o'clock at night that they're going to quote unquote text me back and I don't answer. So that's why I definitely use the time frame. And if I'm cutting out early, like I will say I'm available today. And I always say in every text message, here's my phone number. You can call me. You can always send me an email. I don't think it's about making it exclusively a text communication, or even not. I'm not even asking questions. I'm giving file markers, or I'm reminding people to check their inbox because there's a document list in their inbox. Sometimes I'm saying things like, I have a closing date, thank you email, but sometimes I'm following up now with a text to say, we're just so grateful as a team you chose to work with us. Thank you so much. And I'll give you a call over the weekend to see how everything's going in the new house. I'm very like, say something with an end point. I don't think I'm starting conversation that I'm expecting replies or asking questions. Does that help?
I muted him.
Yeah.
Adam, does that help?
Yeah, totally. I mean, so the gist of it is it's one-way communication is the way you use it to notify them of things.
Yeah, it is. It is because again, I actually don't want instant communication, and I don't want to be found past about 4 o'clock, you guys. That's one of my things. I work 9 to 4, and I don't work after 12 o'clock on Fridays. I'm done. So I have some pretty hard and fast rules about when I'm available and when I'm not. And like Sharon said, it's just about setting expectations about what works for you. That's just what works for me. So Michael,
before you leave this screen, can we just address just 2 things quickly? For anybody that doesn't use this. So like you did the SMS, you can request documents in here from the client if they're missing, right? Through a document email. But if you go over to the right, so I think it's this one we use as well. No, here, documents only, the documents only. If you click on documents only there, this is how you send documents to your lenders. So your lenders that accept documents, if you've got it organized properly in here, so Scotia, they do it all by email, right? I click on what I need for them. I hit documents only, an email comes up. My BRM's email address is in my dropdown. And I just put in my blurb there, right? Here, please find attached the following documents. The file number's coming up, everything's coming up, right? I sent in this application, here's the supporting docs. Now, you deal with a lender who does portal, and you're like, okay, so now I've got to upload to the portal, but my stuff's all in Velocity. I do the same thing. I click on all the documents I need, but I email it to myself. So then it comes into my inbox as the documents. And then from there, I just
Can I stop you? There's an easier way to do it, Sharon. You can just go to download, select it as a zip file, right?
Ooh,
and then
love it.
What it do is it will download everything as a zip like that, and it will pop up on your side. It's gonna look like
perfect. Oh, I love it. I learned something.
Oh my gosh, Michael Masters
like that.
Look at you, Michael. Thank you, sir.
You just drag it into the.
That's awesome.
So Michael, that was actions. Let's do that again. Actions and download as a zip, right?
And I thought you were being attacked.
Yeah.
You got to select them, and then you go to download as a zip.
Okay, that's cool.
Like that, it will just download over there, and then you just drag it into the.
Can you select all documents with one click? No, you're gonna choose the documents you want. And Shahid, the reason for that is we need to be super careful not to send a bunch of documents that we don't want to send. So I'm really particular. Every condition is its own document. It's all separated out. I don't want to accidentally send 3 years of T1s or a T1 plus an NOA all in one like chunk. And most lenders, you guys, really want us to break down our documents and send them in the pieces of, and labeled appropriately too. So the last thing we're going to talk about for the last few minutes, Michael, is just let's jump into smart conditions. Sharon, you have a number of smart conditions. Is that right?
Right.
Yes. Let's jump into smart conditions. I feel like a lot of people are struggling with this in Velocity. I feel like when I first started using this, I'm not sure why. I just couldn't wrap my head around it. And now that I'm really into it, it's the best thing that I've done is set up a bunch of smart conditions. So let's just scroll down. And this is your way to make sure that every single condition that you're going to need is automatically added. So you create your list and you basically tell Velocity when all the parameters around when you want to collect let's say a T4, right?
So if I put T4 all deals, right? But I may put gift letter only for a purchase, right?
Nice. So let's do a pay stub, Michael. Let's click pay stub.
Let's do a pay stub because I think that's a nice example. Because if you have somebody who is employed versus somebody who's self-employed, then you don't need a pay stub for somebody who's self-employed. Just more of a T1. So all I do is I click add over there, and then I just filter it out. So it's got nothing to do with property. or the mortgage, it's more to do with the borrower in this respect.
Right.
So all I do is I filter it out. So I want Velocity to know that I only want this smart condition to appear on specific people, right? So if somebody's self-employed, we don't want a pay stub. So I will click that it applies to the borrowers, and then with regard to application type, it'll be applicant or guarantor. Now, I just wanted to say that the less filters, the better. So you just want to go with anything that's actually relevant to filter. You're not going to really filter that because both of them apply. Residency, it doesn't really matter, but income type is what applies here. So you're going to go for somebody's salary, hourly, or hourly and commission. That's going to function here, but self-employed won't, and then it won't be selected.
Right. I like that. So Michael, you really need to focus on the things you're choosing need to relate directly back to the item you're requesting.
Right.
Right. Because if you're going to apply a lot of filters, then you might get to a point where it's going to get more confusing than anything. Rather, don't apply filters. So don't go to applicant type, choose applicant, and choose guarantor. Because what's the point? Rather leave the filter out, because then it will.
Good tips. You don't need to feel that you need to fill each one in. You can leave them empty. You don't need to click something in each one. What about the mortgage request filter? Let's open that up for the mortgage request. Can we do that? And let's look at that filter. And Sharon, how do you use that? Do you use that one, the mortgage request, like whether it's on a pre-approval or an approval, or do you just kind of ignore that and make your list? Have you looked at that one, Sharon? Can you open that up, Michael, back to PayStub? So if you go to PayStub and add, yeah. And then, so and so you have your borrower filters. Okay, for everyone. Now, can you go down to mortgage request filters? Okay, so right here, you can choose application type. If you click in there, it's either pre-approval or approval, and then application purpose. So it's going to be purchase, refi. So you can start to get really finite on your details in here. So Sharon, in your example, I think you just said, like, we will put purchase and purchase plus improvements, and the condition will be MLS listing. So the condition is MLS listing. It applies, no, it's not going to apply to all borrowers, right? I wouldn't click that, but I would click it applies to all purchases and all purchase plus that are at the first one. So first one, yeah, purchase plus, and under application type, all approvals, because you don't have an MLS and an offer until you asking for an approval, right? So that's one thing we've done is go through these for MLS and offer and lawyer and just like all those details, right? So this part, you have to, and then the default notes are really cool. So if you open the default notes, Michael, you can get into your little descriptors. You can get really detailed in here, right?
I use a lot of notes. Yeah.
These are only internal, and these ones will go to the customer as well. So remember that.
Okay. So I had a great session a few weeks ago in Masterclass where someone said they use the agent internal notes, because as Michael said, the client does not see those. You or your staff see them. They use the agent or internal notes to remind the people that are working for them, and because they've had some staff turnover and new people, why we're asking for this and what we're asking for and things to watch out for. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
We're on the button of 5 o'clock, but we have another hand raised from Adam. So I'm just going to unmute.
Great. Let's do that. One more question.
So regarding the smart conditions, here's some feedback for, I guess, the product team. I think there'd be a lot better uptake from users if they kind of came out with like a default configuration of what is, the industry standard, and then people can customize them to their liking. I think like it would just like when I have mine all set up now, but it was a lot of work, and I had to consult with other members on my team what's the right configuration. I don't know. I think the barrier to entry would be a lot lower if Velocity set them up and then just allowed people to customize them.
That's a good idea, Adam. Absolutely. I think what some of the things you see in Velocity that we've created are because everybody is so unbelievably different. Sharon and I even have a lot of the same ideas, but wow, in our pre-call, we also do about 50% of things completely and absolutely differently. The descriptors are completely and absolutely different. So I think we try to find a balance of what do we provide that sort of is like easy and get you going, and what do we provide that everybody can customize it themselves, particularly, and I find this fascinating, in the document descriptors, the customer external notes. Even on my own team, each one of us has very different descriptors that we use on there. So, but I like your suggestion. Could we have a really core sort of basic functionality of some things that are just like already set up? That's a good idea, Michael. We'll take that back. Absolutely. Because that would be, I like what you're saying, that the bar to entry, if people feel overwhelmed by it, can be high. I don't think you should go and build all your smart conditions. I think you should go piece by piece and I did it deal by deal. I went purchases and my focus on that first. I went, what do I need on all deals first? Then I went into transfers. Then I did refis. Like, I kind of didn't overwhelm myself. And I found that was more effective. I had a few people who said they just like went all in. And like Adam said, it can feel a bit intense, right? This is to help, it's not to overwhelm.
So I think we talked about that the other day on our call. Like, the customization is key. Like, putting the time in up front is going to save you so much time on every app. So I think I hear what you're saying. It takes some time to set this up front, but if you take a couple of hours or a Saturday morning or something and just say, I'm just going to do this right now and get it done, you'll be leaps and bounds ahead later on. Yeah. Right. So I use the analogy of, my daughter wanted to play hockey. I'm not from Canada, don't know anything about hockey. We got equipment. We sat down with YouTube and it said, put this piece on. We hit pause. We put that piece on. Go to the next one. And at the end, I've got a little hockey player in front of me. And I think velocity is the same. You work through it, hit pause, watch the video, set that up, set up the next thing. But it's key to take that time at the beginning, because if you don't, you are going to be frustrated and you're not going to see the value in it. But if you take the time at the beginning to set it up, you're going to see the value in it as soon as you start using it.
Yeah, absolutely. I really like that advice, right? It's just don't bite off more than you can chew. Don't stress yourself out. But you're right, Sharon. It's really hard to do this in your office hours. Like, I love your idea of like, set aside an hour and have an extra cup of coffee. And I know these things feel like, oh, I don't want to do that on a Saturday, but there's so much value in that. And just taking velocity to the next level. This thing is really important. Set aside that time just to get hyper focused on what you expect and what you want. And then the things that will appear, if you set it up with all the structure, it will appear as you want it. Clients will do as you ask if you set it up. So that's great.
And
so
Michael, the other key is we need to get this set up. If you want to be competitive and where we're going in the future, you need to take the time now to get set up, because they're nipping at our heels for all this digital applications, digital documents. And if you want to be in the forefront, you need to take the time now. Like, I'm not a tech person. I like tech if it works for me, but I don't go looking for new tech. And I love it. But I think you just need to sit back and say, where do I want to be in a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think that's a great way to wrap up, Michael. The future is here, and the future, there is a lot of technology. There's a lot of fintech, and we are so lucky to have Velocity. We forget that this was something we didn't have until that recently in our industry, and the leaps and bounds we've all taken as agents and sharing ideas and inside all the brands of the DLC group of companies is incredible. The fact that Jeff Willis and Kevin Deere, who are the original inventors of Velocity, even you guys, can you imagine they even thought about this 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago? Who even thinks that this could be possible? It's extraordinary. So we're really grateful to Jeff and Kevin for their vision, because now it's here and we need it. We need it, absolutely. And it's required. So we're grateful to Velocity for the chance to even just talk about all this stuff. It's always good to have Michael on the call. Michael's running all kinds of training sessions. Go to the training page anytime you need. He's hosting live sessions. There's recordings. There's all the Velocity videos. Masterclass is recorded and saved on the Masterclass page and on YouTube. And Sharon, I cannot thank you enough. You are awesome. I love how you think. I love your style. I would be
I
so
love you too.
happy if I was your client. I would be like, this lady's awesome. You're just fantastic. I'm sure your clients just think they're having like the best experience ever with you. And
Well,
we're so
we thank
grateful.
you for doing this, because this has made a big difference. Like, we go on every masterclass, and thank you for taking the time to do this, because it's a great learning for everybody. So
Yeah,
thank
it's
you.
so fun. And we had great audience questions today. We always
Yes.
appreciate that so much. And we'll see everybody in a couple of weeks, right, Michael? And they'll see you sooner on any of your live training.
Yep. If you guys want to jump onto my training for, well, I just did it today, but the text messaging, it's on Thursdays. Yeah. So just before this, pop on in there as well.
Great. Sounds good. Have a great Thursday and happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Thank you for your great questions too, Adam. You are a rock star. I love it. It's so
Thanks,
good.
guys.
Thank you.